Well, I finally got a new microphone that much better quality than my old one. Anyways, just to take it for a spin, I'm going to do something a little different. I just saw MatPat release a new theory, and I thought I'd do... Okay, I'm hesitant to call this a reaction video because I'll be cutting out a lot of parts of it. I'll also be linking the original video in the description. Okay, I guess it is a live reaction. It's just, I won't be showing the whole video, just the parts that I actually have something to say. If you're here for MatPat's video, go watch MatPat's video. I don't know why you'd be here for that though. His channel is like a 10,000. That's not even like a million times bigger than mine. So, okay. Before I get into this, I just want to preface in saying I am very skeptical a lot of the time with theories. So if I ever call into question the judgment of the game theorists here, I'm not saying they are the worst theorists to ever exist. I'm just saying, yeah, I think it's okay to question things, okay? All right. So I'll play it, and I'll just leave in all the parts where I'm actually reacting in this video.
Whatever you call him, I have one question for you. Why? Why is he here? He was
All right off the bat, I'm pretty sure this is explained in the books. I should mention I haven't read the newest book series myself, but just going off of what people have said in the books, it says that Eclipse came from a theater originally. Sun was like the hero of the play, Moon was the villain, and I don't know, something like that. Anyways, let's let the man speak.
randomly introduced in Security Breach, and sure, he managed to deliver one of the hardest, scariest parts of that game, but
That's
really
true.
ask yourself, what or who is this?
Well, again, this isn't relevant to the theory. When I played Security Breach, it was day of release. I just thought it would be funny to mention. So I had an exam the next day, so I couldn't stay up super late playing the game. I had such difficulty getting past the section with Eclipse, or Moon specifically, because I did not realize you could push the things over to distract him. Anyways, once I figured that out, he got stuck anyway, and it was super easy. So let's continue.
Thing. In a series that doesn't do coincidences, one already...
Sorry, I don't mean to keep pausing this. I don't like the philosophy that FNaF doesn't do coincidences. I think a lot of the time, yes, there are explicit decisions made for things, but to say there are absolutely no coincidences it's something that I hear of a lot. And I don't mean to discredit anyone who believes that, but I just don't see it. There are a lot of things in the series that I feel like are accidental. And again, that's not saying Scott or whoever's making these games just throws away random details for no reason. But to say every single detail is... my point here is I'm just a little worried already that he's opening with this. I guess I'm interested to see where he goes with it.
Why introduce a completely random character completely disconnected from everything else? Honestly, I wasn't sure.
Because he's not from a Fazbear place, he's from a theater.
But it 4 masks, 2 pinatas, 2 plushies, and 2 golden plushies. Which is especially strange when main characters like Roxy and Chica only have like 1 or 2 items.
Okay, I never noticed that. That's actually interesting that he points that out. Like, even if you divide it in half, since Sun and Moon are like 2 characters, that is more than... Yeah, okay, that's compelling. I'm interested now.
It's the teeth. The teeth are the same. Each one individually attached and able...
Okay, I'll give him that much, yes. It is... Well, I don't even want to say eerily similar. Like, it's pretty much exactly the same. That I find super compelling. Okay. This is one of those cases where I feel like it's not just, a throwaway coincidence like I was saying before. I do think he has a point here that there is a relation here. And I do wonder where he's going to go with this.
To Eclipse was the first. He has truly seen everything.
Okay. I know the Mimic's been around a long time. I don't know. That's a weird way to take it, though. I mean, we know, again, from the books that the Mimic inspired, like, a line of endoskeletons. And granted, those were made a long time ago, but I don't think they preceded, like, the anime. And I don't know if I'm right on that, but I don't know. I don't think Eclipse has been around that long, but again, I'll see where he goes with it.
Princess Quest was the canon ending, meaning Vanessa was ultimately free
Yeah.
from the control of Glitch
Yeah,
Trap,
that's
and everyone
fair.
celebrated the victory by eating oddly symbolic ice creams on a hill. That also meant that this
Oh,
headless
okay.
Freddy with the word prototype on his foot, it was indeed Gregory's Freddy.
Yeah,
But
okay,
perhaps
sure.
the biggest twist of all was that underneath the rubble, underneath the Pizzaplex in FNAF 6, hid the one and only Circus Baby's Pizza World.
Huh? Wait. No, well, that is not Matt, or game theorist. That's not something you can... Okay, I get this is referencing a previous theory, and these are the conclusions you came to. I don't know. It just... I feel like this is being presented in a weird way where, like... No... Well, you can't say with such certainty that for a fact Circus Babies is down there. I get there are costumes of circus characters there. But, I mean, that doesn't mean that the actual building was down there. I mean, if you know the teaser from when Sister Location was coming out of the gas leaks that happened, or the cover-up story, the witness in that newspaper article says that they saw trucks come by and take things out of the building. So, and this is even assuming those costumes are from Circus Babies to begin with. And I'm not saying they necessarily aren't. I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, given Ennard's mask exists, there probably are characters at Circus Babies that we don't see in Sister Location. But they have a very distinct style that the Fun Times have. Like, again, even the Ennard mask has, like, those faceplates and stuff. I don't know. I disagree. I think, yes, it's from some circus-themed location. Well, personally, I think they might be from, they might be the totally irrelevant costumes from FNAF 3, because if you remember, so there are three costumes. There's a lion with the, like, sports jersey on. There's the crow/penguin with the, like, beanie on, and then there's the elephant with the clown suit on. Of those three costumes, so although those three costumes are very similar in design in terms of how they're made, by the same token, they look like they are from different sources. Like, thematically they are... The only one of those three that really strikes me as being from a circus location is the elephant. The other two... Well, honestly, the lion just looks like a high school or college sports mascot, if I'm being honest. Crow could be from anywhere. I don't know. This is weird. And I'd call this into question, but we can continue.
This game isn't about looking at the future of the franchise. Instead, it's all about the past. I believe that...
Yeah, so I'm willing to put that discrepancy aside because he does have a point with this. Because in the endings of the game, putting those costumes aside, I mean, throughout Security Breach and Ruined, you have all of the references to FNAF 4. There's obviously Didophobia, very correlated to FNAF 4, and that's the very last story of the Tales from the Pizzaplex series. And what really strikes me is that hallway at the end of the game with the giant fan, and the lighting in that room, as I remember it, is a very distinct shade of dark blue, which is the same type of shade of blue that Sister Location liked using. So, yeah, okay. I will give it to him. There are a lot of connections to Sister Location and FNAF 4 on this. And I think, personally, if you want to know what I think it's because somewhere in these caves that you see at the end of Ruin, that's where the Sister Location bunker was built. Well, like, I feel like this is a huge plot of land that either William owned or Fazbear or both owned. So, yeah, anyways, I'll continue.
Than we do about her.
A fast wrench. It's just like my...
I will admit this is weird, and I'm going to try to predict where he's going to go with this. And this is just based on what I think. I think that this is directly going to tie into Help Wanted. I think that whoever we play as in that game will be Cassie's dad. Anyways, I'll continue.
My dad's.
And its name is written in the past tense.
I also want to call out, this is a good thing. I do like that they're calling out not just the items these lines are attached to, but also the chapters you can find them in. Very, very good. Very, very good. I love seeing sources cited, especially like this.
Implicitly telling us that her dad is no longer around.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. There are those notes in Roxy Raceway that are like, hey, I'll be gone for a while. There's food on the counter or something like that, which kind of, and the entire Roxy's Raceway section seems to be pulling from Cassie's memories somehow. From not only that, but also like the weird cardboard cutouts of her and Gregory. So I don't think he's dead. I think he's just like missing or gone or something.
Way back in Sister Location, we got...
Oh dear. Okay, so I'm willing to give credence to the idea that Cassie's dad is dead. But if I'm right in my prediction and he's about to say that he believes he was one of the technicians that died in Sister Location. Okay, so obviously my Sister Location video hasn't come out yet, but I personally do believe it comes after FNAF 1. So theoretically, the latest it could take place, Sister Location that is 2023. But that's at like the absolute latest. In fact, that might conflict with some things, I'm not sure. So let's see. How old is Cassie? Is she like 11? Let's say 11. Because, okay, it's a funny reference to what Raito said, but no, she strikes me as somewhere between the age of 8 and 12. So at the absolute most, that would put us in 2030. Okay, 2035. I think that might be a reasonable date for this.
Now, I'm not saying that Cassie's dad is one of the two men that we hear talking or see.
Okay, thank God.
Endings connections to Sister Location, plus the trailer for Help Wanted 2 featuring the Sister Location elevator and an electric panel like the ones that we see throughout Ruin.
Yeah, so I guess I did get it right. He does. I think he's going in the direction of Help Wanted being from Cassie's dad's perspective.
It all leads me to believe that her father was one of these sorts of technicians, one of the technicians that worked as a part of Circus Baby's entertainment and rentals. In fact, I suspect that he's the one we'll be playing as in that new game, Help Wanted 2, coming out later this year. As the trailer says,
welcome back for another week of career.
Here's the thing with this. Even though Sister Location takes place, well, I personally think it either takes place early 2000s or late 90s. I will give him that. Nothing bad happened to the location after the end of Sister Location. So it could theoretically still be operational. They're just, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's a market for biddy babs and mini arenas. I'm not really sure.
Career fulfillment and minimal
lack of yellow danger tape found at the bottom of the elevator shaft. We're going to be joining him for a few days on the job, which in turn should give us the backstory for the events that we're seeing play out during the ending of...
So about the elevator tape thing, I needed a second to think about it, but yeah, I didn't notice that. That's actually a good call. The only reason I'd be hesitant from that is that was just a trailer, and I'm not sure. I don't know. That was a trailer that came out months. I mean, even as making this, the game isn't out yet. So that could actually just be how it is in the game. It could also be that they just put the darkness there for cinematic effect.
I think he just went missing. Look at these two
Okay,
item
yeah,
descriptions.
okay, so we're on the
First is
same
for the
page.
AR Bonnie mask, which
That's
reads,
good.
"What happened to you?" You might interpret that to be what happened to you, Glamrock Bonnie, but that's not true. First, this is an AR mask of the original Bonnie. It's a mask first seen in Help Wanted 1 as part of the Trick or Treat minigame. It actually far predates the...
So he's probably going to say this was a question about her dad. Oh yeah, I can see it. Like, I mean, I don't think it's anything guaranteed, but I can definitely see where he's going with this.
Pizzaplex. But secondly, and more importantly, Cassie actually knows the truth about what happened to Glamrock Bonnie. She knows that it was Monty Gator who eliminated him from the picture. In a later item description, this time for the AR Glam Monty plush, the description reads, "It's hard to look at."
No. Because there's another item, I don't remember which one it is, but I think it's the Bonnie pinata. And she said that her text on it is, my dad would never tell me what happened to you. I think this is just a joke because this is the first AR collectible you get in the game. Like, this is literally right after you get the Vanny mask. So I think it's a joke about how it's literally hard to look at because it is technological nonsense.
Disappeared one day and they don't know where or why. That's why she refers to him in the past tense. But that...
Okay, so I'm open to this idea. I just don't like the reasoning that got him there because I think he's totally forgetting about that line, or maybe just totally avoiding it for the sake of a clear theory that there's a collectible that says that she was never told what happened to Bonnie. Maybe she figured it out. I don't know, but I just don't see how she would have figured it out had her dad not told her, and we know that he didn't.
Then during the single most infamous scene in the entire franchise, the bite of 83.
Oh no. Oh no. A couple things with this. Okay, so I've seen this theory going around that the Bonnie masked person from the Bite of 83 minigame is Cassie's dad. And that goes on the connection to Bonnie. And also, I think he might have a darker skin tone than the other characters. But here's the question I'll pose. So, let's say this is Cassie's dad. One, how would she know this? Because remember, this is 1983. And if, like, let's say security breaches around the 2030s, that is almost 50 years. And another thing with that, do you really think after this event, this very, very traumatic event, like again, end of the cutscene, the bullies stop laughing, like they stop dead in their tracks. This very traumatic event, do you think the Bonnie mask guy would go, you know what I need to do? I need to keep wearing this mask, and I need to have a career at the corporation that caused all this. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And my last problem with it is, so let's say again, this dude is, let's say Cassie's dad is this guy. How is that significant? We know nothing about this guy other than he wears the Bonnie mask, he's friends with Michael Afton, and he was involved in the Bite of 83. We know 3 things about him. That's it. So, like I don't see, like, the relevance. And especially, like, out of the 3 who aren't Michael, presumably, why that one, you know? I just don't follow. Okay, I'll give him that. That is interesting. Because Michael or Foxy, he's relevant. What he's saying is Cassie's dad is the Bonnie Mask guy, so he'd be relevant too. Okay. Okay, I'm a little more open to this now. It makes a little more sense. I'm still a little suspicious though, because of just the basic reasoning of like, why would you go join the company who's responsible or who had a part in this very, very traumatic part of your life? I don't get that. Okay, I'll give it to them. Yes, it's there. So, okay, so kind of opening me up to this idea a little bit more. But if this does turn out to be the case, I just don't really get it. Like, from a story standpoint, like, why would this guy want to be involved with this company? So this is what's like criticism, because, you know, he's providing valid reasoning for these ideas. This is more of like, if this is true, then why? Like it doesn't, like you can't just have callbacks to the past for the sake of having callbacks to the past. Like, it has to make sense, and to me, this just, I don't get it.
But rather to those around them. I still believe FNaF 1 through 6 is the Afton story.
I mean, okay, I agree with the Afton story thing, but again, why? Like, is it... Okay, so on Twitter, or X as it's called, yesterday I responded to someone, or someone responded to me after I made a comment about how I think it's weird how we're kind of stuck in this box of having to connect every new thing to something in the past. And some things I get it. Other things like, are there only 6 people in this universe? Like, are there only the same 6 characters? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, yes, I can see the idea of us exploring a new family, or maybe even a new villain or something like that. But what I don't get is, why does it have to be someone that we already know of? Like, what is prevent... In the realm of possibility... So Fazbear's a big brand in this universe, and there've got to be tons of fans of Bonnie out there. So... Like, I see the evidence for it. And again, this is less about Matt's theory, and it's more so about the intentions of the writers, if this is true. Like, why? Why can't... Well, what does this series have against just new characters? Like, not throwaway, just new characters. I don't get it.
But this new era of FNaF, it's about how the actions of the Aftons during their story affected the people around them. The ripple effects, the collateral damage.
Again, this would be interesting, but, you know, the effects that incident would have had on the Bonnie Mask guy probably would not be, oh, I'm going to go work for them now. I just don't get it.
Bro, study robotics and become a technician so that it would never happen again. And Ruin just keeps on.
Okay, I'm an engineering major. You saw something go horribly wrong because of mismanaged robotics when you're younger. So you want to go into robotics to make sure that doesn't happen again. Okay, I get that. So you work as a technician for the company and not an engineer? Like, technicians and engineers are very similar, but as an engineer, I feel the need to call out that they are not the same job.
You'll see a circuit board just there, out in the open. The design feels simple.
Again, as an engineer, I feel I need to call it, okay, yeah, Matt's totally right with this one. It's very weird to me that an animatronic designed to be around young children just kind of has its wires out. And I don't even mean, like, because obviously in Ruin, it's because the place has been trashed. But, like, the fact that the back of the face just has a circuit board, like, yeah, he makes a good point with that alone.
Root Lamrock Freddy. It's a weird assortment, but again, there's no Chica. Or you got the pinatas. There's just 3 of them. Sun, Moon, and Bonnie.
Is there really no Golden Chica? Or... I don't think he mentioned a gold... Yeah, that is weird. So So there's Sun, Moon, Baby, and Baby by herself is weird. Freddy, Foxy. So all I'm thinking right now is Freddy, Foxy, and Baby were all Funtime animatronics. Maybe Sun Moon's a fill-in for Ballora? I don't know. It's just free-form thought.
Mask and the tragedy mask.
Yeah, these are also in the base game. Again, I think this just connects back to the fact that they came from a theater. Sun was the hero, Moon was the villain, and comedy tragedy is a staple of like theater, you know? I think that's really all. Again, I'll hear them out, but yeah.
They have no ancient Greek theater. The first plays evolved from rituals that involved masks, so it was natural for actors to wear masks that represented these heightened emotions that...
I swear to God, if he says Sun and Moon are from ancient Greece, totally lost me. Totally lost me. Again, I don't think that's where he's going, but I think it would be so funny if that's where he's going with it.
Their characters were feeling. And while I don't think that Sun and Moon date back nearly that far, I
Okay, thank God. Thank God.
do suspect that these masks were actually Afton's first creations. For years, we've been left to speculate about a time that came before...
Okay, yeah. I mean, just thinking about it, like, the puppet was Henry's creation, a very, very simple animatronic. So yeah, I could definitely see, and Sun and Moon are very simple animatronics as well. So I guess if they did come from a theater, again, I do lack some credibility here because I don't know the specifics of the books, but if they did come from a theater, then yeah, they'd be a lot more simple, and I could definitely see that predating Fazbear. Like, you know, in Five Nights at Candy's is a rat and cat theater, and from there they open up like a restaurant, Candy's Burgers and Fries or whatever it was. So yeah, okay.
The Sun, Moon, and Bonnie pinatas. A third new character gets added into the mix. Afton's character, the bunny.
Okay, yes. Okay, interesting. Now, the only thing I want to mention here is I think it's very weird. So, assuming this predates Fredbear's, if that's what he's saying, it would be very weird to go from a blue Bonnie to golden Bonnie and then back to blue. I mean, okay, actually, it isn't that implausible. It's just something I want to point out as being weird.
And there are 4 masks. Still Sun and Moon, then Bonnie, and then Foxy. There's no Freddy or Chica because they're not here yet. They didn't join the band, as it were, until William and Henry started working together.
And again, I would like to point out it is very interesting. If you go back to FNaF 4 and the Fredbear and Friends show thing, the very first, like, quote-unquote slide of that TV show, standing next to Fredbear is Foxy, which is a strange decision, but yeah, it's interesting.
It's then, and only then, when Henry brings his barnyard animals to the table, Chica, Pigpatch, Happy Frog, that we see the Lunchbox crew develop.
Okay, so this is going back to a theory MatPat has that Chica was part of the mediocre melodies, going off of strange evidence from the books. And the reason why I don't like that evidence is like, yeah, okay, so it's the puppet carver, I believe, that has this story where this pizzeria restaurant owner has an animatronic pig and an animatronic chicken. And he's like, okay, this could show that Chica was part of the mediocre melodies. Thing with that, though, is, I mean, in Pizzeria Simulator, you could have done the exact same. Like, you could have Chica on stage and Pigpatch on stage. And, I don't know. That story in itself was very Pizzeria Simulator-esque. I don't know. I don't fully like that theory, but again, I'll hear him out.
Carnival theme, which again, carnivals are not circuses, and circuses are not just...
Yeah, he does make up a... I've been wanting to mention this throughout the episode, but now that he has them on screen, yeah. Steelwool has talked a lot about going back to, like, the 70s or whatnot. And there's, you know, that dev message in the unused like gray maps in the files of ruin, and it says leave something here that foreshadows carnival. And what my worry here is the circus animatronics include the main four. And if this really is the 70s, that means before Fredbear's. Before Fredbear's, Freddy, Bonnie, Foxy, and Chica were already like together. And the problem with that is, so you have 4 characters, and then you go down to 2. And then you go back to 4 again. I don't know. It's weird. Like, it's not impossible. It's just, I don't know. I don't like, from a storytelling perspective, that they're going to try to start adding things to the past, when I think all the past needed was clarification. If we start working backwards, things are going to get a lot more complicated, and I think they really just need to focus on, like, the future of this timeline, not the past. Anyways, that's just my spiel.
Springlock suits, which were definitely used in Circus Baby's Pizza World.
Try not to wiggle, though.
Yeah, he has a point with this. So all he just said is actually true. Yeah, okay, yeah, it is weird. I wonder if maybe the Springlock suit from Sister Location was like a jester of some kind. Again, as he says, that wouldn't make any sense because jesters and circuses and carnivals are not related. They're similar, but not related.
Or inside.
The computer controlling the Mixes server is way, way older than any of the other technology that we see throughout the Pizzaplex. We've got camera galleries, modern office spaces, even portable security camera viewing stations.
Alright, here's my problem with that. Again, you're assuming that because the carnival mascots are there, this is Circus Babies, which is a big leap to make, in my opinion. You also have to keep in mind, like, old-timey, like, computers like this, we also see in Pizzeria Simulator. And, in my opinion, this is still part of the Pizzeria Simulator building. Now, still hear him out on what he has to say about mixes, but I feel like just because the computer is like plugged into the server and has access to it, that doesn't necessarily mean that mixes was made at the same time as this computer was. He's kind of lost me here, if I'm being honest. Like, I get where he's coming from, but I just feel like it takes too many assumptions for my liking.
Get this, 1984. Mixes has been around for a long time, trying to keep the mimic locked.
But okay, even if the computer is that old, as I said, the server that he's connected to, like it could very well be the server was built after that computer, and to save on costs, they're like, okay, this monitor, this computer, is really only going to be used to interface with the server, so we can like cut costs on it, do something cheap, so they just pull it out of an older computer. I don't know. I don't fully follow this one.
Away, but why? They're both mimic AI, so what exactly is going on here? Well, it's 2 versions of the same program finally in the same place after so long. Helpy is the mimic program in the network, while the mimic talking to Cassie is the physical mimic down in the basement. It's possible, it's confusing, and I suspect it might just be right. Guess all in a day's work for FNaF lore, am I right? But hey, that's just a theory.
The last thing I want to comment on there is that part of he shows, and I'll go back to this, he shows that in that moment, Helpy's eyes, as you can see on screen, Helpy's eyes are blue, not orange. And there's this thing in Rune where his eyes go back and forth between blue and orange, where orange can be presumed to be the mimic talking to us. Blue is a lot more like programmed in responses, at least that's how they sound. So I don't know, I'd question that. I feel like what's actually going on here is the Helpy program butts in and says, detected this, as they say in the games, this rogue bit of code or whatever. It's like, okay, that shouldn't be there. I'm going to wipe it. Pretty much like a firewall, anti-malware, whatever you want to call it. And then the mimic, as he said, yeah, I believe the mimic is plugged into the system somehow. He hears this and has to be like, no. This was actually my doing. Again, I'm the one helping you, not Helpy. I don't. It feels more like damage control than like a fight between the two. Anyways, that's really all I wanted to do. This recording is 51 minutes long right now. I'm going to cut it down a lot to the things that are actually relevant. I hope you will find my insights insightful. He makes a lot of good points in this theory. The problem is a lot of them rely on assumption, and a lot of those assumptions build off of each other. It's pretty much like the game Telephone, you know? Like someone says one thing in one person's ears, you pass it down the line, and then it's total nonsense. So I feel like those baseline assumptions have warrant, such as the circus animatronics or those costumes being relevant to Circus Baby somehow. Okay, fine. But then to build off of that and say, oh, that is Circus Babies, the building down there. And then building off of that and saying the mimic was part of Circus Baby. Okay, that much I can see, but I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see where it goes. Let me know if I missed anything or you think that my judgment's wrong in any of this. And yeah, I'll get working on the next episode of As It Was very, very soon.